Hi folks, Will at LR Workshop. This, on the spectrum of car preservation, is probably step one, is a car cover, all the way along to heated garage on this end we've started originally on this vehicle. I've stored this vehicle for a long time like this, but I want to go to the next step. And the next step, I think, is either a permanent carport or a temporary garage tent workshopy kind of solution. And that's what I think I'm going to go for 5 reasons. Eventually I want to build a real garage, so I don't want to invest in building something more permanent right now. In the worst of the weather, this car cover cannot stand up to that. You get a lot of water pooling on the top, driving rain coming in from the side, so I want to try and mitigate that a bit. Third reason is I want to be able to work on this a bit more in the winter now that I have the vehicle located where I live for the first time in most of its life. Fourth reason is this cover's probably only got one winter left in it, and I'd have to be buying another cover anyway. And I'm at the stage where I've bought three of these Stormforce covers in its life. Buying a temporary garage solution now is about the same as I would have spent on all those 3 covers. If you want to see how those covers fared over the life they've had, so 3 and 7 years, you can check out some of my other videos that are linked on screen. And that brings me on to the 5th and final reason, which is I want to test the dimensions of a bay, a single vehicle bay. How big does it need to be for a Defender dimensionally, so that I can work around a vehicle, so I know how big to build an eventual real garage. By the way, I've gone for a Clarke instant garage, which is one of the internet's favourites. This one's 6.1 metres by 3 metres and 2.4 metres high. I'm interested to know if it fits a Defender. I think it should, but fundamentally, if I'm going to build a garage, should it be 6 metres deep or 7 metres deep? That's what I really want to know. So I'm kind of testing that with a 6 metre. Could have gone for a 4.5 metre, which would fit the Defender in, but I want that bit of extra working space to test this as a potential longer term solution. It's going to come with a few problems by way of the fact that it's going to be an enclosed space. Relative humidity is going to increase, which therefore means that condensation is going to increase. The Clarke garage actually does say condensation will be a problem, because here there's quite a breeze blowing through, and if you take the vehicle out of the breeze, then the condensation is just going to sit on it. And when we haven't had rainfall probably for 3 or 4 days, so it's remarkably dry. If you put it into an enclosed space, you're more likely to have the vehicle be wetter for longer, which is something that's not lost on me by enclosing it. I've also been measuring up with the pole. Now if we say that 3 metres wide, Defender's 2 metres wide, about half a metre off the side, on this side, you can imagine and see there, we've got enough clearance, I think. If we go to the other side, that's pointing straight into the vehicle there. What I'm probably going to do, having had a think about it, it's literally 6 metres from this fence to about here. So I can stick this in this position here. I'm not going to do a how-to video because YouTube is full of how-to videos of these garages. So let's move to the stage where it's all done. Okay, well that's a good test. It does actually fit. I kept these up with a strap over there, and this raised up quite a lot more. I think if you put a bar in there, you could certainly get these corner bits up, folded up a lot easier, and then the Defender would fit in better. Here we are with the final results. This is been up 2 days now, so funnily enough, we put the frame up on the Saturday, and I'd moved this, left the cover off, it snowed. So the one day where we've had snow for this winter so far, and it snowed, so on the Sunday we got the cover up and this has come in now. quite a lot of frozen bits that's a bit slushy, so, and all down the side there you can see it as well. So in terms of condensation, there is no condensation, but there's no drying, and we can see here we've got water droplets on the outside. So the temperature at the moment is warmer outside than it is inside. It's probably about 1 or 2 degrees outside, and here it feels a bit cooler, so it's probably just around freezing, really. So it shows you the kind of temperature difference you can have. But in terms of space, you can see this is how much I've got down the side. Could potentially quite easily work in this area. You can crouch down, so here I'm crouching down, I can work on the wheels quite easily. And same down the other side. I can work and move quite easily. Doors can be opened quite easily to get in and out on there, so that's good. Fundamentally does fit. We've got loads of room at the top here. So caveats, all about the caveats, right? These are 205 tyres and they're slightly flat, so they're very deflated compared to normally. So they're shorter tyres, but I do have a roll cage on. So probably a standard vehicle without a roll cage would be about the same height, I would expect. And there's quite a bit of room there. And the space at the front, got that much space on here. So more than enough room to work. And this can go back even further, so I can get a solid bit to work on here. At the back, there's the space. This is flapped up, but essentially this, you can see where the snow comes down. More than enough to walk around the vehicle at the back here. So let's fast forward and see how this condensation's getting on. This is day 6. It's hardly been, well, it's not been above freezing all week. It's been kind of -5 overnight. We've got water on here. So it's either melted from the snow that was left on here, but there's actually quite a bit of condensation. Yeah, that's actually quite a lot of condensation. And I've had the front and back open the whole time. I'm going to have to start battening the hatches down now because it's going to get windy tomorrow. So what I really need is some massive paperweight to tie onto this structure. So here's my paperweight. I've tied it onto the roll cage, one of the better benefits of having a roll cage. So try to brace it from a few different directions. I really just want to stop it from lifting as much as possible. Got some bracing on here. I need to keep everything shut, so we'll see how the wind is going to affect this. Day after I'd closed the front and back, the warm air mass on the colder vehicle structure triggered a mass formation of condensation inside and out. The first bout of wind was pretty strong and it made all the straps go slack, so I had to retension those. The feet that weren't attached to the ground were moving quite a lot. There's a challenge with the sighting of this tent, as the ground isn't level, nor is it completely flat. And the instructions from the garage presume you're pitching this on a golf course. But hey ho, that's life. And then following this, I wasn't at home for a week. And then I got home and I found that the internal condensation hadn't disappeared at all. I assumed it had been because the vehicle was colder because it hadn't warmed up to the air temperature yet. But despite the dehumidifier packs being inside, it hadn't dried out at all. Condensation was literally on every surface. It makes sense to me now how it used to get so mouldy inside, because I was never able to review the vehicle on a regular basis when it didn't live next to me. Maybe I'd see it only once during a winter, so I wouldn't get to see how bad the condensation could get. And then the wind really picked up. It's actually shaking the Land Rover in the wind. I've got a bit of an issue here. Come off. So in the wind, the whole thing had shifted on this side. It had shifted that way about half a foot. And it's amazing now how baggy all these sides are. That one had lifted up. Same on this side. This is all untensioned as well. So after that horrendous wind, essentially what had happened is all the way along, these bits, these brackets, had shifted up. They'd all gone up. You can see a bit of the scuff marks on there. They'd gone up about 1 centimetre. all the way along, which is what made this go really slack. So it's just testament to the power of the wind, really. It's not ideal. Yeah, and the other thing, this is shifted. So what I've done now is I've anchored this a lot better. I've drilled in to the concrete. Unfortunately, this is the only leg that's actually sat on a bit of concrete. But drilled these in, stuck in there. God, I wish I'd bought an STS drill 10 years ago. That thing's amazing. But essentially, these are the fixings, if you want to know. Fisher FSL 10/12, and you drill a 10mm hole. And the benefit of these, so you screw it down and it pulls up and it splays out. But the benefit of these is that you can take the bolt off, sorry, take the nut off at the end, and then you can lift this off. Some of these varieties you get are kind of one use only, but this is the product you can use if you want to be able to get this off. You're just left with 2 studs at the end. And then I've strapped this in a bit better on here, linked it in there. Before it was just looped over the top. So it's one of those things where you learn the hard way. You're like, oh, it'll be all right. And then you very quickly learn that it's not been all right. And then I've got another screw, kind of a big anchor screw I'm going to put in maybe at the second or right at the end, just to anchor this side. This shelter from the fence has really not really meant much at all over the time, which has been quite interesting. So we're now on about 6 weeks. The weather has gone freezing again, and the condensation in here is awful. It really is awful. You can see the drops. And the bonnet is saturated, and we've got drips all along here, so it's pretty wet, and we've got kind of wet windows. Oh, well, it's condensation on the inside actually. We did have that period where it was really wet on the inside. I've been kind of leaving the windows up and down and trying to mitigate that. You can see the amount of water that's got in that. We've got probably an inch of water in the bottom of that dehumidifier pack, so there's just a lot of moisture in here. So, essentially in summary, in terms of having a vehicle, trying to preserve it a bit more than just leaving it outside, what do I think? Obviously, this is a temporary solution on the way to getting a garage, hopefully. So I'm just trying to see evaluate if this has been worth it. Definitely for the rain. When you've got hard lashing rain, there's not going to be rain dripping and trickling through the entire vehicle, which is a bonus. But then we've got this condensation problem. My other vehicle that's out on the driveway at the moment has been in sun and it's completely dry. You know, the last few days it's not as wet as this at all. So really, what's the benefit here? I think if you want to preserve the vehicle as much as possible, then when it's mild, essentially we've got 2 types of weather in the UK. We've got mild, windy and rainy, or we've got still sunny and freezing. And when it's freezing and cold and still no precipitation, that's why I'd say probably bring the vehicle outside, just leave the vehicle outside, let it be in the elements. And then when it's mild, so basically the mild parts of the winter and then the rest of the summer and the spring and the autumn, leave it in here. And then you're going to have less condensation and during those times, and it should be okay. So in summary, really, it's not a fit it and forget it solution. There's management that needs to go into this thing. This stuff needs to be checked. You know, after every stop, I reckon you need to check this once a week. Just check it once a week. You've got to manage this either by opening the doors like I've got now, trying to get some airflow, or move the vehicle in and out. Been up for 6 weeks now, so we've had frosty weather, we've had mild weather and windy weather and rainy weather. So this is kind of just my first impressions over those 6 weeks. Generally what we're thinking about. I don't know how long this thing's going to last. I hope I can get 3 years out of it, but when you see this in proper wind, it's really like, you can see how it's not the frame that's going to fail, it's going to be the material. There are part numbers on here that you can potentially reorder parts in the future, but we'll see. So, not a review as such, other than the fact that you can get a Land Rover in here, which is the main benefit. Anyway, give us a like if you want to, leave a comment if you've got any experience with this type of garage or other solutions. Thanks for watching, bye for now.